A very good morning. Thank you for tuning in to Wednesday's edition of Quick Morning. I'm Samiksha Srivastava. Actor Allu Arjun is likely to be quizzed for the second straight day in connection with the Stampede tragedy. Tracking that very closely, beginning first up with all the top stories in this segment. On the occasion of former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee's birth anniversary, key leaders from the National Democratic Alliance, including Prime Minister Modi, will gather at the Sadaiv Atal Memorial in the national capital to pay tribute to the late leader's monumental contributions to Indian politics. A ceremony scheduled for 9 a.m. Today will commemorate Vajpayee's legacy. Later in the day, Prime Minister Modi will even travel to Khajuraho in Madhya Pradesh to lay the foundation stone of the ambitious Ken-Betwa river linking project, which is said to benefit millions of people in these two states by providing drinking water to over an estimated 60 lakh people. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar arrived in the US on 24th of December, where he kickstarted a 6-day visit that is aimed at strengthening bilateral ties and discuss key regional and global issues. During his trip, Jaishankar is set to meet US Secretary of State Antony Blinken and other senior officials in what is being deemed as a significant engagement with the outgoing Biden administration. The visit will follows the election of Donald Trump as US President. Will also be highlighted by initiatives like the US-India ICET and defense deals such as the $4 billion Predator drone agreement that will bolster India's military capabilities against China. Jaishankar will also chair a conference with Indian Consul Generals across the US during his visit. 5 soldiers lost their lives in vehicle accident on Tuesday in Poonch, J&K. Officials have confirmed the same. The White Knight Corps expressed deep condolences, describing the soldiers as brave and not to forget the fact that they were on operational duty at the time of incident. Rescue operations have been underway with injured personnel receiving medical care, the Corps said in an official statement that was issued. More details are awaited. A crucial meeting of senior leaders from the National Democratic Alliance will take place today at the BJP President JP Nadda's residence in the national capital, set to begin at 4 p.m. The meeting will focus on addressing the controversy surrounding Union Home Minister Amit Shah's remarks, which were twisted by the opposition. The Congress, in fact, the agenda will also cover discussions on important legislative matters, including One Nation, One Election Bill and the Waqf Amendment Bill, among others, both of which are under review by a joint parliamentary panel. The meeting also coincides with the 100th birth anniversary of former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayeee, marking a significant day for the NDA as it looks to reinforce its unity and to prepare for the upcoming challenges in the ensuing year. Former Union Home Secretary Ajay Kumar Bhalla has been appointed the governor of strife-torn Manipur as part of a series of key challenges as announced by the union by the president. The reshuffle also sees ex-army chief Vijay Kumar Singh taking over as governor of Mizoram, while Kerala Governor Arif Muhammad Khan has been reassigned to Bihar. In addition, Bihar Governor Rajendra Vishwanath Arlekar has been appointed to replace Khan in Kerala. The president also accepted the resignation of Odisha Governor Raghubir Das, with Manipur Governor Hari Babu Kambhati set to take charge in the state. These appointments are set to take effect from the dates the incumbents will assume charge of their respective states. Actor Allu Arjun was questioned for over 3 hours by the police on Tuesday in connection with the tragic stampede at Sandhya Theatre during the premiere of his movie. On 4th of December, the incident, which resulted in death of a woman and even left several others injured, prompted the extensive ongoing investigation, which is still underway. Allu Arjun, who was accompanied by his father, Allu Arjun, and legal counsel, were asked about the role of his. He was asked about the role of his private security team, the agency that was responsible for the bouncers, and whether proper permissions were obtained for his visit to the theatre. The police also probed It has been probing allegations that the security personnel may have pushed the fans, which triggered a stampede-like situation. Allu Arjun, who's been named as accused number 11 in the case, cooperated fully with authorities and is prepared for further investigation if needed.
Allu Arjun, who has been implicated in a criminal case as A11, he had approached the court for relief and he had been given relief for giving bail by the Honorable High Court of Telangana. Now, there are some orders in the High Court orders, so therefore today we are told that he has complied with those orders and concerned PS had taken Pali. This is a legal process. But however, I feel that the entire issue was a fiasco. It has been mishandled by the government, and unnecessarily the film industry is under attack by this government.
Efforts to rescue a 3.5-year-old girl, Chetna, who fell into a 150-foot deep borewell in Rajasthan's Kotputli Behru district continued has been on. The incident occurred on Monday while the girl was playing on a father's agricultural farm. Teams from the National Disaster Response Force and State Disaster Response Force have been working tirelessly to safely pull out the girl, according to Senior Commandant Yogesh Meena. After initial attempts to retrieve the girl using a ring road failed, the rescue teams have employed a local crafted iron plate device in an effort to keep her safe. Oxygen pipe has also been lowered into the borewell. The incident follows a similar tragedy 2 weeks ago in Dausa, where a 5-year-old girl tragically lost her life after a 55-hour-long operation.
तो 150 फीट थी ये, हमने वो क्लिप वगैरह लगा के एनडीआरएफ की टीम हमारी लगी हुई है, क्लिप लगा के उसको करीबन 31 फीट तक हम ऊपर ले आए और धीरे धीरे हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि उसको बिल्कुल स्लो मोशन में ऊपर ले आए। ऑक्सीजन की सप्लाई हमारी अभी जारी है और बाकी कैमरा हमने लगा रखा है और उसके अलावा एक अल्टरनेट व्यवस्था और भी हम करेंगे। अभी तो ये चल ही रहा है, उसके अलावा साइड में एक इस तरीके की बोरिंग करके और उस तरीके से अभी हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि वो भी एक टीम अलग से लग जाए। तो ये हमारे प्रयास हैं कि ये जल्दी से जल्दी जो है बच्ची बाहर आ जाए।
The survey report of the Shahi Jama Masjid in Sambhal is set to be filed in court by 2nd of January next year. According to Advocate Commissioner Ramesh Raghav, the report nearly complete with only minor technical issues and typical errors pending correction will be submitted before 6th of January imposed by the SC stay order. Raghav confirmed that the remarks that he made on Tuesday were before the court's recess.
रिपोर्ट हमारी लगभग फाइनल स्टेज पे है, कंप्लीट हो चुकी है। थोड़ा टेक्निकल इशू याद है, उसे हमें चेक करना है। जैसे कोई टाइपिंग एरर है, कुछ चीज है तो उसे हम आज बिल्कुल एडजस्ट कर लेंगे। आज के बाद हमारा लास्ट वर्किंग डे कोर्ट का है, छुट्टियां हो रही हैं 1 जनवरी तक। ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट का इसमें ट्रायल कोर्ट की स्टे ऑर्डर है, 6 जनवरी तक कोई कार्रवाई ना करें। अब 6 जनवरी से पहले ही हम ऐसी रिपोर्ट सबमिट कर देंगे, जिसे संभवतः हम 2 या 3 जनवरी में फाइनली दाखिल कर देंगे।
A Shaurya Yatra procession was organized by the Vishwa Hindu Parishad and the Bajrang Dal in Jabalpur on Tuesday, which erupted into chaos and clashes with the police. The annual procession, which marked the anniversary of the controversial Ayodhya structure demolition, began peacefully at Govindganj Hitkarini school campus. However, tensions escalated when procession leaders insisted on passing through Muslim majority Mandi Madar Tekri area despite objections from local authorities citing security concerns. The standoff even led to a prolonged scuffle between Hindu organizations and the police.
विश्व हिंदू परिषद और बजरंग दल के द्वारा एक पारंपरिक रूट की सहमति यहाँ पर हुई है। पहले जो रूट था वो पारंपरिक नहीं था, इसलिए पुलिस प्रशासन ने इनसे आग्रह किया और संगठन के सभी पदाधिकारियों ने और कार्यकर्ताओं ने इसको मान लिया है कि जो पुलिस प्रशासन के द्वारा प्रस्तावित रूट है उसी रूट से ये अपनी प्रोसेशन को निकालेंगे और आपसी इसमें सहमति बन गई है।
And time to take a look at business stories that we are tracking in this edition of our broadcast. Prime Minister Modi held a crucial meet with 19 leading economists and analysts to discuss various aspects of India's economic growth. The meeting was aimed to address crucial issues affecting the country's economy. It also included focused conversation on budget planning, structural reforms and key areas for sustainable growth. The Prime Minister emphasized on the importance of maintaining India's growth momentum in face of global economic challenges. The Directorate General of Civil Aviation has imposed a 10 lakh fine on Akasa Airlines for denying boarding to 7 passengers and not offering the required compensation. They said the incident occurred on 6th of September when the passengers were stopped from boarding the Bengaluru-Pune flight. Akasa Air spokesperson said that the airlines company acknowledges the order that has been sent by the DGCA. Apex Exporters Body Federation of India Export Organization stated a strategy that can boost India's exports to America. This aims to capitalize on potential opportunities that may arise during Trump's tenure, given that he has threatened China of sweeping tariffs, following which the body has urged the government to provide financial assistance for Indian exporters to participate in exhibitions across the US. Small businesses have seen a significant growth in both employment and number of enterprises. As per a government report, almost 11 million jobs have been added to this fiscal year. The total number of jobs in small businesses across manufacturing, trade and services rose up to 120 million. The surge in the jobs reflects the sector's vital role in shaping the Indian economy as well as employment generation. Additionally, the combined number of small businesses in manufacturing, trade and services saw a jump of 73.4 million from 65 million the year before. In a recent report, CRISIL stated that India's solar module manufacturing industry will see a significant transformation over the next 5 years. The report, with the export-import balance, is expected to move substantially. As per the report, the robust domestic demand for solar modules, estimated at an average of 50 to 55 gigawatts annually between the financial year 2024 and 2030, will be a key driving force for this sector. However, rising domestic production is likely to result in an oversupply from the fiscal year 2025 onwards, creating opportunities for exports. It is said that India's economic growth is poised to pick up in the second half of fiscal year 2024-2025. It is driven by robust domestic private consumption and rural demand of goods. The RBI highlighted high-frequency indicators for the third quarter of the fiscal year to point recovery from slowdown seen in the second quarter. The rebound is attributed to strong festival activity and a sustained upswing in rural demand as well, which signals a return to growth momentum. And for now, we switch focus to international stories that we are tracking in this edition of our broadcast. An Israeli airstrike killed 4 officers in central Gaza on 23rd of December. The policemen sought to secure an aid truck which carried flour which had been looted earlier this month. United Nations had said that it would halt aid deliveries to the conflict region due to threats of armed gangs over looting and violence. Various humanitarian agencies have been struggling to supply aid to the country due to lack of security provided to the convoys carrying the supplies for Palestinian families. The officers who were killed in the unfortunate airstrike during their duty were transferred to the hospital as people poured in to bid them farewell inside the morgue. Conditions, however, still remain grim in the Gaza region as families have been struggling amid lack of supplies and a grueling winter. President Joe Biden has signed a National Defense Authorization Act bill for fiscal year 2025 on 23rd of December, which would boost the United States military spending to whopping $895 billion. However, it only marks a % of increase from the previous fiscal year. The NDAA passed by the Congress outlines Pentagon's annual budget and serves as a guiding document for the country's defense policy. The signaling of the bill ensures continuous flow of funding for various defense programs, including military personnel, equipment, procurement, and ongoing defense initiatives. However, several members of the Congress have questioned the need for increase the budget to believe that it had become a tool for large contractors to profit. An explosion at an armament factory left 12 dead and 4 injured in the wee hours of 24th of December. The horrifying incident occurred in a capsule production facility in northwest Turkey. The explosion sent shockwaves throughout the nation as Balıkesir governor confirmed that the explosion collapsed the production building as well. Surrounding buildings also were damaged in this incident. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu is set to testify once again in his ongoing corruption trial. The Prime Minister has been facing charges for accepting bribery in form of champagne and cigars and for exchanging favors with wealthy associates as well, although Netanyahu denies the allegations, saying that the charges are a witch hunt against him. Against the minister, the court proceedings still continue. He is the first sitting Israeli leader to face the court as a criminal defendant. The testimony of the Prime Minister has been ongoing for a while amid the country's ongoing war in the Gaza region as well as developments in Syria and Lebanon. Israel's defense minister has threatened to kill the leaders of Houthi militant group in response to the ongoing missile attacks by Yemeni rebels. The minister said that the Houthis would meet the same fate as other members of an Iranian-backed alliance. Across the region, the Iranian-backed Houthis have launched scores of missiles and drones at Israel throughout the war, including a missile that landed in Tel Aviv on 21st of December. In other news that we are tracking, US journalist Austin Tice, who's been missing since 2012, is believed to be alive, according to Nizar Zaka, who runs the hostage aid worldwide. There has never been substantial proof to declare that he was dead, thus once again opening his case as the US government commits to bringing the journalist home. Further reports even suggest that Tice was alive in January and is being held by the authorities of the ousted Syrian President Assad. Though Syria has publicly denied these claims following the ouster of Assad, search operations have been ongoing for Tice, as President Joe Biden has promised to bring Austin Tice back home. The Eiffel Tower was evacuated on Christmas Eve after a fire broke out between the first and second floors of the monument. Around 12,000 visitors were safely escorted as firefighters took hold of the situation. Though the cause is believed to be a short circuit, a detailed investigation is underway to prevent such occurrences in future. The fire resulted in panic among the visitors as the monument receives 15 to 25,000 visitors every day. In another incident, fire engulfed top floor of an office and a residential building in Northwest Building on the same day. Hundreds of angry protesters took to streets of Damascus after a Christmas tree was burnt. The protesters were holding a cross as they marched through the Bab Toma Christian neighborhood in downtown Damascus to a church. Although Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, which led the ouster of Assad, promised to protect the minorities and fight for freedom of religion, this incident has sparked anger among the Christian community. And time to take a look at sports stories that you're tracking in this edition. Australian batting great Matthew Hayden has urged Virat Kohli to draw inspiration from Sachin Tendulkar's disciplined knock in Sydney and curb his tendency to flash out tests of the Border Gavaskar Trophy. Kohli, who has had inconsistent series so far, with scores of 500 not out, 7, 11 and 3 in his last 5 innings, has amassed just 126 runs at an average of 31.5. The doctor treating Vinod Kamli has provided an update on the former cricketer's health, which seems a bit concerning. The doctor has stated that his brain condition is not stable at the moment. The 52-year-old was brought to the hospital by one of his fans, who also owns a hospital in Bhiwandi's Kalhar area in Thane district. The International Cricket Council has announced the Champions Trophy 2025 schedule after much delay. The elite tournament that is being hosted in a hybrid model, which will start with a match between Pakistan and New Zealand and in Karachi on 19th of February. The final will be played on 9th of March. India will play its first match of the Champions Trophy against Bangladesh on 20th of February in Dubai. India will play all the matches in Dubai and will play against Pakistan on 23rd of February. India's all-rounder Akshar Patel shared a heartwarming announcement revealing the arrival of his baby boy Haksh Patel. He took to Instagram to share the joyous moment, posting a picture of his son dressed in tiny Indian team jersey holding his parents' hands. Akshar's name has been in contention for a spot in the Indian squad for the ongoing Border Gavaskar Trophy. Australia are sweating over Travis Head's fitness ahead of the fourth test. He suffered a minor quad strain, the injury which the batter himself and captain Pat Cummins shrugged off after the third test in Brisbane, expressing confidence that he would be fit in time for the fourth test. He did not attend Australia's optional training session and will undergo a fitness test before the match. And time to take a look at entertainment stories that you're tracking in Wednesday's edition of Quick Morning. Hollywood actor Alec Baldwin came under the fire after the actor was accused of involuntary manslaughter in October 2021 following the death of cinematographer Helena Hutchins on the sets of his film Rust. Though the case is still being pursued by Hutchins' family members in New Mexico, Helena Hutchins was shot dead on the film set after Baldwin fired a round of ammunition for a scene, not knowing that live bullets were loaded in the gun. Journalist and author Liz Plank, a long-time co-host of Man Enough podcast, has announced her departure following allegations of misconduct leveled against co-host Justin Baldoni by his It Ends With Us co-star Blake Lively. Plank took to social media platform to release a statement regarding a decision to leave the podcast. Launched in 2021, the Man Enough podcast was co-hosted by Baldoni, Plank and Wayfarer Studios president Jamie Health, who was also named in Blake Lively's suit that she's filed against the director of the movie. And for now, it's a wrap on today's edition of Quick Morning. Stay tuned for Live This Morning coming up at 7 a.m.